Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chef Night.
Good evening. How you doing out there?
Thank you for joining us, Chef.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what we have tonight because it's really hot out. And I think this is going to be really light and refreshing.
It is light and refreshing. Right?
Okay.
We still have to turn the oven on, which isn't ideal for the summer months. But the dish itself is going to be a very light dish for the stomach. Last thing we want is to be
Right.
after we
had-
eat, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So the pairing of the combination, hoisin sauce and blackberry. If you're not a big hoisin fan, it's very bitter to taste.
It is.
But then we're going to sweeten it and add a nice tartness from the blackberries where it blends very, very well together, which is going to complement our pork tenderloin.
Wonderful.
You can do this with chicken also. I just did it last week for my residents and they absolutely loved it. And then we're going to pair that with a potato cake, which again isn't going to be like a potato pancake. This is more of a Asian style potato cake where it's just the potato and some onions, and then that we're going to use the starch of the potato as a binder instead of adding egg. So
Sounds interesting. Something that I haven't done before.
a traditional potato pancake is going to have flour and egg in that, which then becomes a lot heavier when you digest it.
I think of it in terms of like a crab cake. Is that going to be similar? Or
It's-
totally not.
Yes.
Totally not.
No, it is going to be similar to like a crab cake. We're not going to be breading it by any means,
Right.
but we're going to have something that's lighter to the palate, to the stomach, really, when we digest it. So,
Perfect.
and I can't say lighter to the palate because we're going to add some
Oh.
serranos because we like it spicy.
Always like it spicy.
That's right. So,
So how do we get started? Well, first of all, in the chat box, we're gonna put the recipe for the hoisin because there was a mix up.
we had a clear here.
Okay.
It's the same instructions for the potato cake as the pork tenderloin. The pork tenderloin's a lot easier to do, which is just going to be searing, finish in the oven, making the sauce, which is something that we kind of do almost every show. Yep. And then making the potato pancake is going to be a little more difficult where you want to read the instructions because of the technique. Okay. So no worries, we'll walk you through it. The recipe will be there if you have to resort back to it. But again, please reach out to us if we're moving too quickly. We'll keep checking on you. We want to make sure that we're going at a pace that you're able to cook along with us. So without further ado,
Mise en
mise en
place.
place. That's right. Everything in place. We do have a lot of mise en place for this dish.
Okay.
A lot of
I do smell the garlic.
lot of little pieces, right? Yes, always fresh garlic we cook with. We have our onions and our potatoes for our potato cake. We have some blackberries for our sauce. We got some lime, some grapefruit for our cocktail, basil for our cocktail, fresh ginger. If you're not used to working with fresh ginger, please incorporate this to your diet. This is extremely healthy for you. It tastes a lot better than ground ginger, just so you know.
Good to know. We're gonna try it tonight. That's awesome.
We have our hoisin. We got some spices here. We have star anise. It's not ground. If you do have a coffee grinder, this is the best to grind in there. If you're going to grind it in your coffee grinder, the best thing to do, throw it in your saute pan for just a couple minutes and toast this a little bit. It helps enhance the flavor.
Oh,
So it's
interesting.
more robust in the dish that we're making. And this is going to go into our sauce.
So how do you do that on the pan? I'm sorry. Do you put anything in with it?
All you would do, turn this guy on high.
Okay.
We won't be sauteing, so to speak, because we're not adding any fat. Okay? Saute, high heat, little bit of fat. This would be just toasting,
Okay.
Which
So
means
no, nothing.
dry and neat.
Okay.
You can do it in the oven, but if you do it on the stovetop, we're getting an extreme amount of heat directly, quick and fast.
Okay.
You can do this with sesame seeds. You can do it with almonds, pecans, macadamia nuts, basically any nut. You can do this with coriander, chili flakes. If you really want to spice up your dish, toast your chili flakes before you add them to anything. It's going to bring out the heat so much more because
Totally
we're
didn't know that.
releasing the oils.
Makes perfect sense,
Okay.
but sure.
So,
No.
as
So
it sits here,
if you're working with an electric cooktop, should you have gotten your pan warm first?
it'll be the same
Same,
thing,
okay.
right? As we're sitting here right now, can you not smell that
I can smell it.
right away, right? And we're not even really getting to toast it just yet, right? we're barely starting. So whether it's gas or whether it's electric, high heat, beware of that.
Right.
Because once you start toasting, you don't want to burn it. Again, if we burn it, it becomes bitter, throw it in the trash. All we're doing right now is releasing some of the oils of this spice, and we're toasting it, right, on the high heat. So we want to make sure that we don't burn it, but all we're doing is enhancing the flavor to get a nice robust. So when we do it, we're going to add it to our sauce. It's going to be so much more
I totally smell it.
to the taste bud. You can smell it.
Smell a lot more now.
Right? Which is good. So again, all do is shuffle it around. No big deal. I flipped them over because I noticed that it was starting to get dark on one side because we can smell it right away, right?
Right.
So we can go ahead. We're going to turn that off. Just let it sit there. It's not going to do anything. It's still going to continue to activate that robust flavor, which is good.
Good to know.
Okay. So then that's that.
All right.
We do have our oven on 400 degrees. So then that way, what we're going to do is we're going to sear our pork loin. Our fan favorite, the cast iron skillet. It maintains its heat very, very well, but also sear and into the oven. Any one of these particular pans are oven safe. This is what you're going to want to use as an oven safe pan, because this one we're not going to need to transfer. Sometimes we have to transfer because of the amount that we have today. We're going to be able to sear directly and then put it straight into the oven, so that way you're able to use that oven safe pan. We got a nice sauce pot there for that. And ready to go. This guy's going to be for our potato cake. That's that. We got some fresh grapefruit for our Paloma, our Thai Basil Paloma. Very refreshing tequila and grapefruit. A little bit of lime into this drink. We're going to Thai basil that to have a little different flavored profile to it. It's also going to help complement the dish. We got some scallions for our potato cake, red wine vinegar, soy sauce, some blackberry preserves. This is all going to be a part of our hoisin blackberry glaze for our pork tenderloin. Okay. So let's get cooking, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. First and foremost, we're going to want to clean our pork tenderloin. What you're going to want to do is we're going to be wanting to take off the silver skin. And the silver skin is a ligament, if I'm not mistaken, that is very, very chewy. And no matter what you do, you'll never be able to eat it. So the difference is fat will peel right off the tissue or the muscle, so to speak, right? Fat peels right off. The silver skin is this silver looking piece that's right here.
Yeah.
No matter what you do to this, we could braise this for as long as it takes for this meat to just shred apart. This will never break down.
Right.
So we always want to remove the silver skin in any whole muscle meat that we're working with. Any beef, any pork, any veal, chicken, duck, all that doesn't really have the silver skin, just the fat that's there, right? Yep. So all you want to do is you want to get your knife. I'm going to take off some of this little fat cap in here just to get rid of this little piece in there, because that's also chewy as well. So
if anyone has frozen, well, how would they quickly defrost if theirs is still a little frozen?
If yours is still a little frozen, zap it in the microwave on your defrost. The quickest, the fastest way. Okay. If right now, if you want, blast it into, keep it in your pack, put it in something that'll submerge, very hot water, quick and fast, right? You're not supposed to thaw meat in hot water, but since we're trying to just break the frozen off of it, we'll be okay. So
just in case, I wasn't sure if anybody had that, because we want to get you going with us quicker.
In the microwave is the best. They do have a defrost, which is a lower temperature, or it is a lower, I guess it'd be lower cooking temperature, lower microwaves than on high. So it's lower. If you defrost, then it's going to defrost it without cooking any of the exterior. If you're just to throw it in for 1 minute, that's on high. We're going to cook these outside pieces and still not defrost the center of the protein, right? So that's that piece. What you're gonna want to do to get this silver skin off, it's really pretty easy. Just want to take the tip of your knife. This is a boning knife, so this is a knife specifically used for working with raw proteins like such. And it's really sharp right on the tip. And since it's so sharp like that, you're able to use it very nicely. So all I did was I punctured a hole and moved along. And then that way I can grab this. As soon as I grab this, you'll see I'm just running the knife right along the silver skin and pulling off the tissue with that. So you see that this knife, it will not cut that silver skin. See that piece
It's
like
not
that?
cutting that at all.
Right? That's how chewy it is. So then all you do is just run the tip of the knife along
Till it's
such,
gone.
and then that's it. Can you clean up some of this fat if you want to? I typically don't. Reason being is it renders away as we cook. Okay, provides a little bit of flavor. So there's that guy. Then we'll do our other one. So this one, like you see, has a little more fat content. You know, you can pull this off if you want to. It's not super necessary. I'm going to pull this piece out because that'll stay there while we cook. Some of this stuff you can trim off if you want to. Again, all this real thin stuff, it just renders away as we're cooking. So again, puncture your hole so that way you can grab it. And then you just run your knife along that silver skin there. And you'll notice that the silver skin doesn't, the knife doesn't puncture the silver skin. And all we're doing is just taking off just that little thin silver skin piece and not losing any of our product. Because if your chef sees you throwing away protein, you're going to hear about it. That's for sure. So even if you get in there, this little tiny piece, want to make sure that we snag that as well. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
So then this is all
Cleaned up.
ready to go.
Okay, he always makes it look so easy, right?
It's
Everyone.
pretty simple. Remember, no cross contamination. So we're going to discard this cutting board. Get a good wash on our hands. Beth, if you'd like to salt and pepper those pork tenderloins there.
Perfect.
I got some tongs right here that we can go ahead and utilize for the other side there.
Perfect.
There we go. Looks good. We're going to set these aside. We're not going to need to refrigerate just because we're going to be cooking relatively quickly, right? Grab the cutting board here. So now for the potato pancake. Now this process, it's not difficult. It's just a little lengthy because what we're going to do is we're going to grate our potato, we're going to grate our onion, and we're going to allow the water content of the potato to drop beneath this.
Okay, like a little strainer.
Yes, and what happens is as we let the starch from the potato and the water sit, it's going to coagulate, which then we're going to be able to incorporate back into our grated potato and onion mixture.
Okay.
And that's going to allow the binder for our potato cake. So these guys, I've already rinsed them off. We're just wanting to peel them. The reason we're going to peel a russet potato is because the peel is so hardy. It's very tough. So we don't want that into our potato pancake. If you were to use a Yukon potato, there's not as much starch as the russet. So you might need to use a little more potato. But these guys, we definitely want to take out the skin so that way it's not so chewy when we're cooking. How's everyone doing at home? Everyone staying right along? Get a thumbs up. Get a hiya.
Anything in the chat box? It's quiet out there.
I know.
It must be summer.
Do we have any questions so far?
Henry says that he's doing good so far.
Good.
Awesome. We're glad you all could make it for the summer series because we know it's tough out there.
It is.
Everybody's on vacation, having some fun. So thanks for joining.
I'm gonna take half an onion. Set that aside. So with our potato and our cheese grater, I'm gonna do this.
It's so interesting because I never have grated a potato. Has anyone ever grated a potato?
Hash browns right there.
I know.
You know?
I don't even think of that. That's really interesting, but that is hash brown.
That's it. So as you can see, we are losing a lot of water already, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of water content in russet potatoes.
Interesting to know that.
Watch your fingers, watch your knuckles. We don't
Go down
want-
to the end.
We don't want red potato pancakes or potato cakes. And these potato cakes are an Asian style potato cake. I want to say they're more from China than they are from. There's a version similar to like this that Koreans do. It's very, very similar. The process isn't too difficult. It's just some of the ingredients like the scallions and again, it's as far as we want to go, right? So whatever we want to add to this, we can go ahead and add to it. So that we're going to set in there and then we're going to squeeze that water out so we can capture it. When I was looking up this recipe for these, I was trying to figure out what would go nice with this for the summer month, right?
Right.
And this was a good one that I found. And then what else can we add to it? Because to me, it's always, what else can we do, right?
Well, and this is definitely creative. I would never think of making this. So I think it's fun to make something totally different. I mean, how many people out there have made a potato cake before? I'd have to venture that it's not very many of you.
Right. So again, we can all roast potatoes and we can all mash potatoes.
Right.
Most of the time, that's what you're leaning towards, right?
Right.
Instead of a simple little process goes a long way. This one's going to be a little trickier. Reason being is as we're grating away, the onion's going to start wanting to fall apart, right? So if we hold in the center and try to go a little bit easier.
That's a good tip.
Henry Bean said when growing up, he put the grated potato on pot into the sauce as well.
Oh.
Until
right.
what's
Put
that?
the cloth, brown the potato to get the water out.
Mm-hmm. So, yep. And that would be a great way to do it for sure. So we want to get some of that big chunks out of there. And this guy we can break down. So even like a coffee filter, if you don't have cloth,
Oh.
if you have a bigger coffee filter, you can go ahead and put in there and squeeze. The cloth helps it strain a little better than the paper coffee filter.
But it's a good alternative
Yep.
because some people may have that more likely.
Absolutely. So now that we got our grated, mix this together. So what we're gonna do is press this down. As you can
It's a-
see, look at all that water. Make sure that you're moving that potato around so that way you get the bottom of it as well, that what we first threw in there, right?
Right.
That grated piece. I mean, you can see as we squeeze that, look at all that water that comes out of there. So by releasing that starch, it's then going to become a binder for us.
Right.
And that's the good piece. So we don't have to add any flour and we don't have to add any egg to it to help us make and form this potato cake that we're looking to make. So now that I've squeezed it pretty good, I'm going to continue to still work it some. I want to mix that onion around because that onion's going to help the potato from oxidizing. And that's the big piece, because once we take the skin off of that potato, it wants to oxidize, which means it's turning brown. So in order to prevent that, we want to mix that onion in there.
Interesting.
So I'll show you another little hack for that as well. So we go one more time around. It looks like I've gotten pretty much
Yeah, it's
most of
definitely
that,
not as much water.
moisture out of there. And you can see how much water that we've collected, right?
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Mhm.
More than I would have guessed.
Like the mushroom, right?
Yeah, exactly. It definitely soaks it up.
So go there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take paper towel. We're gonna wet it. So I wringed out all the excess water. Now we're gonna, again, help prevent it from oxidizing, okay?
Right.
We need to let this set for about 10 minutes so that
Okay.
it's gonna do its thing.
Perfect.
Now, we're gonna want to get to our pork tenderloin because we need those to go into the oven. We're gonna go on high heat, so this is a good sear. Remember when we sear, we wanna get our pan nice and hot so that way we get that caramelization on the outside. And with the pork tenderloin, we're really gonna be able to see the difference in that sear because you're gonna be able to tell the light gray color that the flesh turns when you sear as opposed to the raw pinkish tone to it,
Yep,
right?
it does turn that color.
Yep, so you're gonna be able to see it really, really clear on it. And we're only doing 2 today, so if your pork tenderloin, if your pan is smaller than your pork tenderloin, you can cut them in half. When we do cut them in half, it's going to lessen the time in the oven,
Mhm.
right? So what you're looking for is an internal temperature of 140 degrees. Try not to go any higher than that. 145 is what the recommended is. But when you're eating pork tenderloin, just like pork loin, it can be a little pink, which is what the 140 is going to be. If you pull it out at an internal temperature of 140, chances are it's going to continue to cook up to that temperature, which it is safe to eat. You can eat it at a little bit lesser than that, and that's all based upon your discretion. I typically don't like medium rare pork tenderloin. That's why I go right about the 140, 142 if you want to be. If you want to go 145, go 145. Completely okay. Don't go past 145.
Because it's not gonna be as tender.
It won't be as tender. It will be, but not as, right?
Right.
Because we're wanting to capture and maintain all the juices. If we go exceed that to 150, then it does become drier, right? Even though it's the tenderloin, it'll not be, it'll be still tender to chew, but it won't be as juicy and flavorful because we're cooking out all the love,
Yeah.
right? So we're gonna have a little bit of oil here.
And one thing when we cook pork, I love using, Steve cooks a lot with the pork tenderloin because it's so versatile.
It's cheap also.
Yeah, and expensive.
If you're not used to using it, it is inexpensive to buy, which is fantastic because it's great to utilize for a lot of things.
Mhm.
I mean, pretty much anything you can think of, you could use this.
Right.
If you were going to do like if we were to take this in a different direction, we can slice this raw like that
Mhm.
to be more of like an Asian style, that Panda Express or traditional Chinese food that you would
Right.
Yeah.
Just have
and
pieces.
and just have those pieces like that. This would be a great product to do that with because it does maintain that tenderness. If you're doing that with a pork loin, it definitely is going to dry out faster. So, and the reason being is this tenderloin is a muscle that pretty much never gets used. And that's why they call it the tenderloin, because it sits below the loin that doesn't really do it. So that's that.
Okay. Good to know.
We can see our hands get nice and hot. We'll just get our all oil all the way around that so we can get a really good sear for it. You can see a little smoke coming off. Nice sound as such. And our pan was hot enough. We're gonna probably go we'll probably go about 1.5, maybe 2 minutes on a solid. You'll see how fast that this process goes. When we have this pan that's nice and hot. So that's the beauty of it. And like I was saying, if you get in here, we can already start to see what that looks like. The difference between the cooked and the raw, right? So we want to get that nice caramelization on both sides. You can sear all the way around traditionally and technically. You would sear all 4 sides. For our application today, it's not super necessary, but you can. So if you want to sit there and hold this on its side, you can do that. It's not really going to harm anything. It's only going to help you seal in the juices better.
All the way around.
Yep, better, right? So if you want to have your kids stand here and hold your pork tenderloin, or like I do, I use the side of the pan sometimes, or I'll utilize each other just like that. So then that way it's able to sear, and we're going to get a good sear on all 4 sides. Like I was saying, you can see that sear. When you sear, that's all you're looking for is just this nice little, yeah, just that nice thin layer like that with the good caramelization on the outside like such. Get that good caramelization there. That's what we're looking for. Keeping that pan nice and hot, right? So as you see, we're only going about 30 seconds, maybe 45 for each turn. And at a total, we're going to be right around 2 minutes.
Yep.
And that's all we're going to need, especially for this. If you were using a pork loin for this application, you would do probably a little more than 2 minutes for each turn because it's thicker. So we're going to want to sear more of the tissue, right? We want a bigger sear because the piece of meat is bigger.
Right.
So same thing if you were going to do beef, if we were using like tri-tip, if we were doing like a top round that we cut down a little more, depending on how big it was. If we were doing a sirloin, depending on how big our cuts were, is how we would sear, right? Even if we were just using like a New York strip steak for the same type of concept.
Right.
You're only going to be doing about 1 to 2 minutes for each side. So. Go ahead and get that last one there. Mhm.
Perfect. We can see how all the edges all the way around are now seared.
Yeah. And again, all that's going to do is help seal in the juices better.
Right.
Keep that meat nice and tender as it's roasting in the oven.
Absolutely.
Mhm. How are we doing out there? Everybody looking good? Who's on their cocktail yet? Usually that's about the time someone's looking for a cocktail about now, right?
Exactly. Getting off of work, everybody wants to relax.
That's right.
And we had some good feedback on our mocktail.
Yeah, well, we've had quite a few recommendations, right? So actually mocktails are becoming a bigger thing,
Right.
right? Because you can have a robust, flavorful drink that has no effects to it,
Exactly.
right?
You
And
feel
that's a big
great
thing.
and healthy.
100%, right? Sometimes the mocktails have a little more sugar than anticipated, but that's okay. So again, you're seeing really good caramelization there. And that's what we're looking for. And all it is salt and pepper on there. You can
Right.
get as crazy as you want to with your spices. You want to remember, we have a sauce to complement that.
Right.
So for this, we're going to use the juicy pork tenderloin, the tenderness of the pork, and I'll have that flavorful sauce of the hoisin blackberry to complement that meat.
Right.
Yeah. So sauces aren't to drown it, it's to complement our proteins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those guys look really good, actually. I'll check and show. There's a good spot right there. So see all the way around how that's seared up nicely. That's what we're looking for. See that there, Beth?
Oh, absolutely. All the way around the side.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Pop this down in the oven. We're gonna set a timer. I want to set a timer for 15 minutes just so we can check it at that point.
So everybody set your timers at home, get that going so we can, what do you think? Is it time for a cocktail for everybody?
It is, I mean,
That way?
yeah,
Or should we have one more?
I want to get the sauce, let's get the sauce
sorry.
working
Let's do
because
it.
we want it to reduce. Then that way we can really relax and have a cocktail.
Okay,
All right,
let's do it.
so let's do
The
it.
sauce.
All right. So for our sauce, we have our grated garlic. We're gonna need some ginger. I know those probably have not worked with ginger very often, and that's okay. And then grater for those that are afraid of it. Okay, so ginger root grows and it gets crazy, gets funky, right? The easiest way to do it is to square it off. Okay?
Oh,
Don't throw this away. This guy you can get rid of, but this is still usable pieces, right?
mhm.
We'll start with the smaller one. So then if you square it off,
Well, so you just continue to square everything off, basically.
it's easier. You can take a spoon and you can do this
Oh, yeah.
action if you want to, because the skin comes right off.
Oh, yeah, it's really-
It's when you get into these other
it's
pieces,
a little knot, yeah.
becomes a little bit harder. So for me, I find it easier if you square it off. Then that way you're not I'm not losing a whole lot of product there. So that's the nice part of it. Then if you go to your small side
A little goes a long way.
or your zester for ginger, absolutely.
Smells delicious though.
I love ginger. It's so good.
It's just not something that we cook with very often. I don't know how many out there cook with ginger all the time, but it's just not something we cook with as often.
Try to incorporate it to the diet, right? The reason being is it's so healthy for
Right,
you.
that for sure.
And by ingesting it and getting that into your diet, the benefits of it are immaculate, just fantastic. I'm gonna turn it off slightly. Our oven's on high. So I turned it down just a minute because it's hot and I don't want to.
No weird things popping in there.
I don't want to burn our pork. So again, if you don't want to cheese grater it, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna want to cut it down fine. The reason I showed you the cheese grater is because catching a fingernail or the tip of your finger in this process is far greater than
The grater.
correct.
Far greater than the grater.
That's it. So you're really looking for a
A
mix.
real, yeah, real.
Yep. So we can see the
Oh,
difference.
it's
in the
even
two,
more than, yeah.
right? So using the grater, you're getting that finer piece to it. Mhm. So then to our sauce pot we go. We're just gonna start off on high because we're gonna want to saute. just due to the placing of our pan in our oven, it's not directly in the middle. I went ahead and flipped our tenderloin because as you can see, it's getting very caramelized on those sides because our setting is lower to the direct heat. So that's why I flipped those guys over. So that way they can cook evenly. A little bit of oil here. Garlic. Let's do some ginger. Let's tiny bit more.
Woo, we have some smells going on there. Even our photographer over here is saying, yes, lots of smell.
What in the world?
It is garlic.
And ginger.
I know, but the garlic just stands right out there.
Some of my favorites. So the reason we want to saute this is we want to soften it.
Right.
Yeah, because it is hard to chew if we were just to chew it. So we want to soften that up. So it sits in our sauce very nicely. So we're going to saute that down. We're going to get our red wine vinegar ready. So as that's sauteing, remember keeping an eye on our temperature, making sure we're not burning any garlic. Ooh, now that ginger's coming out.
I know, you can really, that smell profile changes.
I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. We're still gonna let it do its thing here before we deglaze because I want to continue to soften that, but I don't want to burn the garlic because I can see it's already getting pretty brown. So if we turn our flame down, that'll help us prevent it from burning it. All we're doing is roasting it nicely. We're gonna deglaze with some red wine vinegar.
Fantastic.
All right, well, that's doing its thing real quick. We're gonna want to put our star anise. We're gonna need to grind this. If we have not grinded this yet, I'm gonna put it in a bag. And we're gonna go to town.
Otherwise, you use your coffee grinder.
Use your coffee grinder. Exactly. I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna add our soy sauce really quickly so that continue to do its thing.
It's kind of nice to have it all measured out.
This is another ingredient that gets overseen. People look at it and be like, oh, I don't like licorice flavor. And I get it, I understand. I'm not a licorice flavor type of person. But what this does when we add it to a dish like this, changes that flavor profile. And it gives it that nice little hint of something that you go, whoa, whoa.
Is that? It's not overpowering.
It can be, but it, again, when we're gonna just add that little bit of nut to it, it's really gonna change the flavor.
Interesting.
So I'm trying to keep some of these bigger pieces to one side so that I can just continue to focus on breaking these up as fine as possible. I'm gonna remove these big pieces so we don't potentially get those in there. Put those back in our bowl. We're gonna want to add a pinch of this.
Boy, you can really smell that now that you
Chopped it up.
roasted it and then chopped it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna want to put some crushed red pepper in there.
Chef Henry is asking, where does that spice come from?
Like traditionally, where does it come from?
Yeah.
I don't know. From the Amazon. No, I really don't know.
That's a Google.
That is a Google one. Where it originates from, I have no idea. Africa.
It's definitely Asian culture, isn't it?
It's used all over the world.
Yeah.
And where you find it are, again, how it's utilized is different in every application. In Italy, it's used more so in baking.
Yes, it is.
In the Middle East, it's definitely used in some cooking. Asian, it's used a lot more. All I'm doing is add a little bit of water because I want to reduce some of that before we add our preserve. So all we're doing is just bulking up our sauce.
Okay.
Yep, that's all we're doing.
Keeping it on the same temperature.
We're gonna turn it up slightly
Okay.
because we're gonna want to bring that water to a boil, which you see is gonna happen relatively really quickly.
Right.
We're gonna take a peek at our pork.
It definitely helped turn that down.
Yeah,
Helped turn that down.
absolutely. We got how much more time?
Did you see it?
No,
4 minutes, 4:35.
right on schedule. Okay, so that guy's come to a boil. Once it does, we're gonna turn it down a little bit longer. We're gonna add our blackberry preserves.
This was an interesting ingredient for me, thinking that you add preserves. I don't know why, but when I saw
So
the
by
ingredients list, I thought that was interesting.
adding preserves and not using just fresh blackberries or
Yeah.
frozen blackberries,
Mhm.
it helps us so we don't have to strain out the seeds.
Oh, okay.
And we don't have to use as much fresh berries or frozen berries
Okay.
to capture the flavor. So it's twofold. It helps gives us the consistency of the glaze like that we're looking for.
Right.
And we don't have to strain it all out. Because if we were to just strain all this out, we lose a lot of the love.
Right. Right.
Would you still taste it? Yeah, but we want to have all that when we're eating the dish.
Exactly.
Right? We're gonna add our hoisin.
Alice said that the spice comes from the south of China and Vietnam.
Oh,
The south originates from the south of China.
and Vietnam.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes, that's all good to share.
Thanks.
And it makes sense with them cooking with it more,
Yeah, so like
obviously.
star anise is one of the Chinese 5 spices.
Makes sense.
And that is the spice that it's Chinese 5 spice. That's what it is. So now as it heats up, you're gonna see we're gonna get a little more consistency. We're gonna want to break up some of that preserve.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving right along as that comes to a, we don't want it to come to a boil specifically. We want to add our white pepper. Can't forget about this.
Chef, what's the difference between white and black pepper?
White pepper is finely ground. It is a different peppercorn, so there's several different colors of peppercorn. White pepper is more pungent than black pepper, means it goes little, goes a long ways. It's mostly used in white sauces, so that way you get that peppery taste without the sight
Side.
of the black
Oh,
pepper.
interesting.
Mhm. And you could tell as I poured it in there, we could smell it just standing here, right?
You very rarely see that request is a white pepper.
You do.
Good to know. Isn't that for the cocktail? Let's see, sugar. It's this thing.
Simple syrup.
Yeah, simple syrup. Yeah. So how are you guys doing out there? Everybody catching up? Getting ready? Who started the cocktail before us? What are you looking for?
Honey.
Oh, I have some right here.
Sugar will work, but honey.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, so just by tasting our sauce, I want to add a little more sweetener to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna add honey and not just sugar, because honey is gonna build profile. That was a tablespoon of honey to the sauce that we have.
So taste your sauce.
Mhm.
Add it if you think it needs it.
And that's all based upon preference. So for me, like I said, that hoisin's pretty bitter. So by adding that honey to it is gonna sweeten it up some.
And it's got some spice there.
It does?
Yeah, not a lot, but enough.
Okay, good.
There's
Oh,
our
there's our
pork
timer.
tenderloin. These guys, I'm gonna say, are done. So now we're gonna let those guys rest. Resting is key. So that way we can allow the juices to flow back into the meat. Okay, now we're at cocktail hour. Perfect. Perfect. All right, for our cocktail, we're gonna need a shaker. We're gonna need a muddle. We're gonna need some tequila. We're gonna need some simple syrup. We're gonna need some grapefruit soda or water, so to speak. Grapefruit juice.
You want ice in here?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Okay, so first and foremost, what we're gonna wanna do, Beth, is we're gonna wanna go ahead and peel the stems of our basil here.
I love that we're incorporating the basil into it. That's really sounds refreshing.
And it's gonna, again, complement, right? That's a big piece to it. So I'm just gonna rough chop at first. And then we're gonna wanna muddle that. So if you wanna,
I can't get the top off, sorry. When these tops stick, they stick. Sometimes it's difficult. I got it. Gotta be strong. I don't know what it is with those tops.
Butter.
Butter knife. We're gonna learn all the tricks. Oh, not even a butter knife over here. This
stirring our sauce. So if it's at a rolling boil like that, we wanna turn it down as low as we can, so we can just maintain a nice simmer. It's gonna continue to thicken as we cook.
It is messing with us. Oh, got it. Good job.
Left-handed trick.
Sometimes they stick. I cannot get it.
And so that guy's gonna go in there. We're gonna need to muddle. Whoop. So all we're doing here is muddling. We're breaking up our basil leaves so that way we can release those oils so we can get as much basil flavor into our cocktail as possible. We're gonna be taking the juice of the fresh grapefruit. Ooh, look at that.
I know, that looks amazing.
All right, so 1 ounce and 2 ounces. We need 2 ounces of tequila. We are using a nice reposado today. 2 ounces. We need 1 ounce of juice. Which I'm gonna say is probably almost all of this guy. It's not quite all of it, but. All right. And then some ice in there for us, Beth. More garnish for us. And let's do simple syrup. Half an ounce.
We're gonna have these kind of glasses?
Anything we want.
Okay.
We can get as fancy as you want to, or not as fancy. Shake. 30 shakes.
I see.
Yep. Lime juice. New for me.
Gotta have the lime juice. All right, who's tried it already? I know there's someone out there. Oh, that looks delicious. Look at this. I like always how you add the garnish on it. It just really adds to the drink, the cocktail.
It really does.
It really does. You know, you go to a restaurant, they garnish it up nice.
Crazier. Crazier.
It's an art. I think making cocktails, people have fun with it. Make it look beautiful.
You know, there's a lot of places out there where the cocktails are becoming more than just a cocktail, where it is a really piece of art. It's pretty fascinating, actually.
You think you can make it at home instead of having to go out? This is probably, you know,
A $20
$5.
cocktail. Yeah, easily a $20 cocktail. All right.
okay. Cheers. to all of
Cheers.
you. And cheers. That's really refreshing.
That would be my
Love
cup
that.
of tea,
It's
actually.
really good. Very refreshing. What do you guys think? Do you try it? I've never had this before, so it's actually. I don't feel like it tastes like a lot of tequila. I mean, some of them are pretty strong when we make them, but this was not. But it feels
Well, and a lot of people don't like grapefruit.
right. No,
And I think the flavor profile together kind of really takes away from both, right? So
I
they
think so.
kind of each mask each other
Absolutely.
to get a good flavor
I
profile.
love it. Awesome.
All right, I'm turning our sauce off because it's glazed up
Wow,
for
look at
sure. And it's just going to continue to do its thing. So now we can go ahead and dive into our potato pancake. We're going to remove this. We are going to take our serrano. Now remember, after you cut this guy, wash your hands. If you have gloves, use gloves. Why, you say? Because in an hour and a half, you don't want to get this in your eyeball, Justin. So all I did is I'm using the spoon. Nice, easy way to take out those seeds and that core.
It's a great idea. Boy, but you can smell that the minute you cut that.
Right away, right? You can smell the spice coming out.
And the oils in that definitely don't touch your face.
Yep. So this guy, we're gonna want to cut as thin, again, like a mince as possible.
Any questions in the chat box? Anybody have any questions? Who likes the cocktail?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can anyone tell us where the Paloma originated from?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Who's gonna look it up?
Spain? Is it Spanish? Is it Central American?
Gosh, I would always say, I feel like it's a Central America thing,
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
but you never know.
Mm-mm. What we got?
You typically known more for their tequila.
Mm-hmm. Because of the agave.
Mm-hmm. Because of the agave.
So our scallions, put these guys thin as well. And try not to go too far into the white for this application. You can if you want to, but we're just wanting to get that nice green color and flavor.
It's interesting because a scallion has really two flavors, the white versus the green,
Mm-hmm.
where it's unique to that particular. Is that a vegetable?
Yeah,
Or
it's
what-
part of the onion family.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so now as we strain this, you can see, look at all that starch settle.
Yeah.
And we're gonna want to put that back into our potatoes mixture here.
We're getting rid of the water.
Not all of it, but some of it. So we're not gonna need to add it all. But then we're gonna take all that starch there, see all that? Potato starch,
Interesting.
and put that back in.
Okay, how many of you have done that before? That's because that's a unique way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Ancient Chinese.
Public safety alert. Everybody's phone went off.
Wash your hands from the scallions.
Yeah.
Okay. Now those guys, I believe we're gonna want to add some salt and pepper, if I'm not mistaken. Our minced garlic as well. So we're gonna put this back in. Finish that off. Woo. And salt, pepper.
No, wait.
Okay. That's ready to roll. So let's go ahead. We're gonna get our fry pan up and running.
I'm excited to see how this comes together.
Nice and hot. All I'm doing is wiping out the residual oil of our star anise. Because we want that to be in our sauce and not in our potato cake, right?
Absolutely.
So these guys, you're gonna want to keep them kind of thin.
Okay.
We're not gonna want to make them thick like that. Okay, so we're not gonna want it to be thick. We're gonna want it to be pretty thin.
Okay.
So that way all that starch will be able to hold itself together. So for our pan, we're probably gonna be able to get about 3, maybe 4, depending on the size we go out. For this, I would probably only try to keep them about that big right there. So the size of a baseball
Okay.
is kind of what we're thinking.
Flat size of a baseball.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm seeing more of the hash brown application.
Uh-huh. And it's pretty similar. But it's nice because there's no flour.
Right, right. Right, you're just using its own starch,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually interesting to do.
Ancient Chinese secret.
Okay. Like it.
Here's a tin on putting the third one in there.
Just do the size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be fine. We're gonna throw a little salt in our pasta as well. You see we're getting nice and brown and crispy around the outside there.
And it does stay together.
Yeah, that starch really helps
Yeah.
hold it pretty good. Yep. A little oil, not a lot, but a little bit. In the corners.
So how many people out there have made something like this before? This looks like something that you wouldn't just make often, right?
No. Not even from Idaho, and they grow potatoes. So.
Exactly. It's such a unique side to go with this dinner. I love it. Kind of learn something new every time you come on this show, right?
That's the whole point, right?
Because I love it. This is very different.
Cooking at home.
Henry says he makes these potato cakes all the time.
What,
Really?
same like this? Similar fashion?
Interesting.
And the ingredients can go as far as you want them to, right? So again, adding whatever we want to go in there.
What other things would you add to it?
You could go in a different direction. Thyme, rosemary. We can throw ginger into that. We can go oregano, basil. So depending on what
Do a
our
cooking.
pork loin and our sauce is, this is just a lighter version of a potato. So something that's not too crazy. So
Puts up eggs and hold it together.
the binder of the egg, yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So those guys are finishing up. I'm gonna go ahead and got some fresh berries here for us for garnish. We're gonna do some scallions for garnish as well.
Henry says that the potato pancakes look great.
Good.
Oh, good.
Let's take a peek here. So you saw I added a little more oil because we needed a little more oil there to create more of that caramelization. So we'll give those a second. We can take our tenderloin, slice this guy up. And typically what I'll do with this guy,
Well,
no, let's do the bowl. I like that idea.
I kind of always like the bowl situation.
So on the bias, and it's
But you can clearly see the bias on a pork tenderloin.
Mhm.
It's really obvious, so it makes cutting so much easier. Sometimes on chicken, I find it harder to see it, but
It is. So, and this is your preference also of how big you want it to be, right? So I got a nice good size of what we're gonna use. I mean, that right there with 2 little potato cakes, and then we have a dish.
wow, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm just gonna stack these guys right on top of each other. I'm half tempted to do all 3.
Wow. Give it a little height.
Mhm. Plus, you gotta think about that, right?
Uh-huh.
That's like a good portion of potato.
Love that.
We can go 2 ways with this. I am gonna go slide it slightly. And just let it work its way down. We could flip that up and have it presented differently if we want.
I love it going that way.
And then take our glaze and go right over the top. You see? One more here in the front. Then we'll bizzle around. Some plate skate.
Ooh, looks great.
Blackberry, blackberry. Blackberry. And more for fun.
I just saying add
I
something.
think it looks good.
Love the blackberry on it.
2. Maybe 2. And then if we take these guys, pull out our tweezers. I'm not much of a tweezer person, but when you use them, you can get some cool effects like such. And there we have our
Wow.
Blackberry Hoisin pork tenderloin.
That looks delicious. We're
With-
so excited.
Our Thai Basil Paloma.
That's excellent. Coming up next month, August 27th, and we're doing it again on a Wednesday. What are we making?
Is-
Broiled?
Is going to be a broiled salmon and roasted beet salad.
Why broiled versus pan-seared?
Well, we will sear it as usual.
Okay,
The reason we're gonna broil it is because it's high heat for a short amount of time,
okay.
which again is sealing in all the juices of those of the salmon flesh itself.
Okay.
But the reason being is when we broil it, instead of baking it, we create that nice crust,
Okay.
right? And that's what we want.
You
So
do
we'll
on
sear
fair,
it,
sure.
and then when we broil at that high heat, we're gonna get that nice crust on it. We're gonna set that on top of a roasted beet salad with some arugula greens, toasted pistachios, and then a citrus vinaigrette with that. So
Wow, nice and light, because next month it's still August, still gonna be hot here.
here, it'll still be hot. Yes.
Well, thank you all for joining, and we'd love to see you next month as well. and have a great night. Enjoy your dinner and
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us and we'll see you next month on Let's Get Cooking.
all right, bye.